Well, come back to Dungeons and Dragons. Well, come, obviously.
You
can't just demand that of me, I'm sorry.
I did. Anyway,
I don't, no.
to
You're
bed.
not that kind of DM.
Yeah,
Uh,
wrong kind of DM, and also I generally don't get involved with people that are already in relationships.
that's good. Anyway, thank you for.
Considering we're not in an open relationship. Gilly?
It's not really what I was. I was talking to the audience. Anyway,
This turns so
Reject.
anyway.
Like press play and suddenly the topic changes in a whole
Oh
unpredictable
my
direction.
gosh.
I don't think about the blood in the bag of holding anymore.
Okay, so thanks everybody for joining us. I will get to last time and what's currently happening on Dungeons and Dragons in a moment, but before we started the recording, there was some philosophical discussion about the nature of the bag of holding, and Thrikus is involved in some experimentation, which they just sort of, they did their thing and figured out how the bag of holding works. That's no big deal. That's fine, but obviously, as finding out how the bag of holding works, figured out that there may be items in there that they do not know, that they don't know have been placed in there. So, have been attempting to try different varieties of questions for the bag of holding to see if they can pull stuff out of it that they don't know that's in there. So Thrikus had tried specimens, receiving nothing. Ailey had tried gems and money, receiving the money and gems that were in there, but then tried again, didn't get anything. Varys tried a weapon, received one of the 3 weapons, figuring out that it does just interpret what you've asked of it. And Jin asked for a skull, a cool looking skull, and received a cool looking skull with an emerald in it that no one knew was in there. But also Thrikus has asked 2 additional things of the bag of holding that aren't particularly. One of them is kind of an item in a sense, but not like. I'm guessing it's not worded as an item, and received nothing. The second thing is also not worded as an item, but I did roll a D100 and got a 100 on it. So they're going to get something out of it when they ask for this.
These things were whispered in the dead of night when no one else was awake.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so every time Ailey would be like, give me a gem. Give me a gem. Or give me something shiny. And probably got given like forks and stuff, because I'm pretty sure at some point she put the fancy cutlery in there. I can't remember if she sold it.
No, there was dumped out, all the fancy cutlery you picked up.
Sorry, we had to make room.
Yeah. It was dumped out back at the house.
Bad.
It's like how we did.
I mean, it was the like curtain or whatever she ran off with that someone was making into a dress somewhere, I think. Or she still intended to have someone do that. Different to the robes that she had made.
So, well.
So, what does Thrikus get when she asks for her mother's approval?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Oh, that's too sad. Another dude of 9. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. You're not sure if this is just like part of your twisted psyche or something along those lines. But what you retrieve from the bag of holding is a femur that has been sharpened at one side to be a sword. So it's a very long, longest bones, but is not it's longer than a human's femur. It's probably some very large creature that has been sharpened to be a bone sword.
So,
Oh. Holy shit. Yeah, my mother would approve of that.
Also, roll me an Arcana check for me, please.
Yeah.
There's something fucky about this bone sword.
Of course there is. It's my mother's approval.
Mm.
Which is the name of the sword now.
Like, is it
That's
my
canon.
mother's approval or Anarchus' approval?
My mother's approval.
Just
Yeah.
my mother's approval.
Straight up. Straight up.
Scully, may I have a fancy skull in my inventory?
You may. We'll add that for you.
Thank you.
Oh, that could
Alien
be cool.
found
It's very cool
anything
with
of
that.
interest with her searching for shinies? Or just the cutlery?
I
Any
mean,
of the cutlery that was
yeah,
missed?
I would say that you probably did find like a missed piece of cutlery or something. You're not sure whether it was part of the fancy set or if it was just lost to time. You've definitely pulled out something that's just something that is shiny but not of great value.
Haley gets a
Oh, no,
sword.
she does. I'm not after anything
book.
of great value. I just want something dumb that Ailey's gonna now be using too often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantasy spork.
yeah, fantasy sport. Are you going to be using the skull as a focus now? So it's going to be happening.
I think Jin wants to learn a little bit more about it before doing that, but I think that is his intention long term.
I'll put it under weapons then, so it's right at the top. Okay. So, well, we'll go back. We'll leave that as it was until you guys can long rest again to actually do this stuff. I guess. Well, no, you did the stuff at the last long rest, so. Okay, we'll go into what previously actually happened on this.
Retro
Oh
recap.
dude, Fucking all over the place today. So the team had just had spent several days walking through this forest and eventually found themselves coming upon some unicorns. I heard of unicorns.
Ailey was
And
very pissed at Jin.
yeah, and Jin
Jin
unfortunately
was
managed
pissed at
to,
himself.
unfortunately managed to scare a lot of them away. But did eventually not eventually, what am I saying here? After chasing them away, found that they were grazing near an elf wood tree, which is a pearlescent sort of tree that is constantly awash with colors and just constantly moving. Very magical. It's the absolute pinnacle of magical tree, and has constant falling golden leaves turn to ash. Had untowardly affected Jin as they attempted to grab one, that they're keeping that to themselves. But using Micaiah's speak with plants ability, attempted to ask them a series of questions about what was going on and what the deal was. Micaiah was not happy with this conversation. It seemed to be very annoying to Micaiah. She was very much not enjoying it.
Those trees were a lot.
They were a lot. but did answer the questions that the team had, and also got a piece of them, as it were. Summoned a branch from this tree, and promptly removed it, and have Varys had, once they finally got away from the trees, Varys identified this stick and found it to be a +3 pointy stick. That is highly magical stick that could possibly be turned into something else. But currently, as it stands, just a +3 stick.
But a +3 stick with endless potential.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's basically where we're at. So, it's been. This is you're probably feeling around lunchtime at this point. Again, it's difficult to know exactly what time it is, and it's just sort of how you guys are feeling most of the time, because the time does not seem to change at all.
Jin's stomach grumbles.
Fair enough.
Is it time to hunt?
What are you gonna hunt?
Depends on what I see. What do you want me to roll for? Looking for stuff.
Well, probably survival, I'd say. An advantage for the area that you're in.
Sorry. All of my rolls were
boy.
persuasion to lick the skull.
Yeah. I wondered if that was going to be an omen.
Yep.
Priorities.
Quite. 12.
I mean, at least it's wisdom, so a 5 is a 12.
Yep. I would say that you still don't really struggle to find anything. You still don't struggle to find stuff to eat. This is very much your place for that. But it is still slim pickings. It's probably
Bland, untasty, but I don't find any nice meat to hunt.
Yeah, it's probably just something to tide you over, not an additional meal or anything like that.
Starchy roots it is, boys.
Mm-hmm.
If you mush the leftover berries in with the starchy roots, it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jin's had worse.
Codswallop's getting pretty sad at this point.
It is a far cry from the steak.
He misses meat.
Mm.
Misses his pocket bacon.
We all
And
miss
the
the
bag of
bucket.
holding jerky.
Hey, let's try that.
Let's
Where's the bag of holding? Yeah. Hey, bag of holding. Give us some more meat.
Oh, you just asked for meat. Oh, what is in there? Mystery meat.
You receive nothing.
Bag of holding jerky? Jin's never had enough possessions to need a bag of holding before hanging out with this group. He doesn't know how to do the thing.
No jerky.
Okay.
Bag of holding food for the dog?
you will retrieve one of the modest meals that is still in there.
I thought we decided we weren't going to eat those yet.
No,
Well.
we're not. And Codswallop will be satiated with the things I've dug up. It's just not meat, you know?
Yeah.
He's a meat man.
Jin puts the meal back.
Meaty boy.
I gotta get successful at hunting soon. Or I'm a bad dog owner.
So. You did find out also that you have arrived in the Ever Thicket Wood.
Yes.
As that was a question asked. That is where you are.
Trees.
We also did figure out that there was apparently some people ahead of us too, right? Tree said that there was like a group further up.
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
I feel like somebody told us that someone had been sent this way before.
Yes,
Maybe it was
so-
earlier.
Yes, so you had been told well earlier back in the town that a long time ago there were people sent ahead of you. I don't believe that the tree told you that there
I
was.
might have been confusing them for the hobgoblins last time. I bet.
Yes, you had previously passed hobgoblins and other peoples on your way here.
We're on the right track. Has either Jun or Thoracus come forward with their mystery items?
I don't know. Thoracus, have you? Well, I mean, you've got the
Because
skull.
Varus can identify things.
Yes.
Yeah, no, if we're gonna like break to sit and eat, Jin will definitely like be sitting there investigating the skull, trying to learn more about it, and like not hiding that either.
And
'Cause
I
I would
don't
say
think
that-
I could hide the
Yeah.
giant femur sword. It's just sort of strapped on my back, and I'm kind of waiting for people to ask about it.
You didn't just stand
Who
there smiling
knows?
like a big grin.
I'm just like nonchalantly have this femur sword strapped to my back.
Which Jin is refusing to ask about because he knows that Thoracus wants to be asked about it.
Hey, Thoracus, I meant to ask earlier, but it didn't seem appropriate. What's up with the giant femur sword?
Oh, I finally got my mother's approval. Finger guns.
Those look like
Seems
painful
dubious.
finger guns. Are you okay?
It is also a painful reminder she's probably dead. She's definitely dead. She's dead.
Okay. So, would you like me
How-
to have a look at it? Either of those? You've got a. Why is there a skull with a gem in it?
Jen?
Bag of holding.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, bag of holding.
What?
You should try asking it for more things. Like honestly, sometimes it works.
I think I have an idea. Maybe like if we took everything out of the bag of holding that we knew was there, and is there some way of like? Can I try and figure out if there's a way of emptying the bag of holding of what it has, aside from like destroying it?
Roll
Might waste the
me
blood.
an intelligence check.
Sure.
What would it give us if we asked it for life?
Probably some horrendous undead thing that we killed once.
Yeah, you're not sure. Like, you tried when you first got it to like figure out, well, when you got it off Willie to get things that he put in it, but again, you've never really
I have
thought
done
about it.
these before.
Yeah,
so-
never really thought about it until recently.
Weird. Okay, we'll put that on the the long list of other things we've got to try and check out somehow.
I mean, what would happen if we asked for everything that was stored within it?
I feel like I shouldn't ask for that because a whole bunch of stuff will fall on me.
Do you feel like that's a lot of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Maybe
not
if we get a
opposed to
big,
it.
if we get a really big open area.
We could. Is there anything? Maybe we take out the potions that we know separately, just so they don't break or anything.
Yeah, true. We'll take out fragile things.
In the meantime, do you want me to investigate that sword for you?
Man. Yeah, but I feel like Jun's thing's more important right now.
Okay.
Hey, that's your mother's approval. How is this more important?
I mean, well, I've already got it, whether it's, whether I know more about it or not. And the more I look into it, the more do I really want to look at it too closely?
Why? So your mother seems tumultuous at best.
She was.
Oh.
Thoricus goes a bit green.
Reddish
That's a
green.
strange color.
Yeah, it's a weird color combo, guys.
Yeah, Jun's gonna hand over the skull to Varys to inspect.
I will do this as a ritual, just so that I don't use up my spell slots. I got. Oh shit! It used them. Well,
No, just add it
it
back.
took 10
So,
minutes. I'll just put it back in.
okay.
Get a look at this skill.
By itself, it doesn't seem to have any magical essence within it. It's not enchanted in any way or any shape or form. But identify spell lets you know some of the nature of it. It does appear to have been stored in this bag of holding for a very long time. And the skull is not. It is not of any race that currently exists on the planet, on the prime material plane. You imagine that it is probably the skull of whoever, one of the skulls of whoever built the clockworks when they were around.
Holy shit! Wow. Okay. So this skull is from not from anything of our time. It appears to have possibly been the skull of the creators of the clockworks.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Then why is there a gem in its head? Did they all have gems in their head?
Next question.
Well, I mean, they probably don't naturally have carvings in their skulls, right? Right? So surely the gems put in after? What if there was? What if that was just natural?
Roll a nature check for me.
Is Ailey allowed to investigate anything? What
Yeah, you
would
can-
we
you can-
use?
You can roll an investigation check if you want, Haley.
My intelligence fails
Investigation
me.
check.
Yep. And
Jen's
Haley, you
gonna
can.
take the skull back from Varys.
Fair.
He just passes on that info.
I have lost the tab while I was applying for voice acting jobs. Hang
Fair
on.
enough.
Fair.
Here it is.
Staring at it in a weirdly
Oh, Ailey is
poetic
weird.
goth way,
Yep.
which makes him seem far more intelligent than he actually is. Jen's kind of gonna tilt his head to the side and look at Varys and go, "How old does that make the bag of holding then?"
Well, I mean, good question. I don't know. I would assume it was put in there Like the bag of holding didn't exist before the head, sort of thing. I feel like that probably came later on.
Because, like, otherwise it'd be slimy, right?
Maybe.
Like, it
I'm
wouldn't
not
just
sure.
be a skull? I mean,
It-
No,
presuming it was just a head put in there, but
Oh, but it's already been cleaned and carved.
how do we
Yes,
know that that wasn't the natural thing of it? I have
So
no
from Varys's investigation, he knows that the carvings at least are posthumously.
Yeah.
The gem, not so sure. And from Ailey's investigation,
What has Ailey found out about the gem?
Ailey's like, have seen something similar before. Ailey is very familiar with all the, anything fucking costs money, has shiny things about it that people have talked about before. Ailey's heard of things like that. It seems like a similar practice that they've heard of before in lands far east of here. In the old continent that you guys are all from, where gems are inlaid into a person's a child's body, and sort of held and pressed there for a very long time until the body no longer rejects them and they are just there in their body, embedded. And it seems like something that could have happened to this person. That they were just forced to have an emerald in their head. For whatever reason. So,
The carvings are definitely additional.
That's more horrifying than I thought.
yeah.
Does
Why
that
would-
make them special? Oh, sorry, John.
yeah. Why would anyone do that, especially to a child? You don't give a child a gem like that.
Unless they were like super important or something, maybe.
Of course, Ailey knows that the only children who ever had that done to them were always like, ancient rulers or whatever, like the firstborn. Yeah, firstborn children of the biggest, bestest king or noble. So they would at least assume that this person, the skull of this person, the person whose skull this was important, or that there was some other reason for putting this in their head.
Jin's like internally like, hell yeah. I'm going to use the skull of some important person to just for funsies.
I mean, it seems pretty powerful. Can I
Yeah,
do an Arcana
probably.
check?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So you don't sense anything particularly additionally magical about it. And as Vera said, it didn't seem to be enchanted or anything like that. But perhaps it was at one point very magical and has long degraded, considering its age. You don't know.
Probably still is some kind of conduit moment.
Yeah, it certainly would be a fantastic focus for anything. But it doesn't seem to it wouldn't amplify anything or anything like that lately.
Yeah.
But yes.
Sort of able to channel your own sort of magic.
Yes.
Hey, I wonder if Null would be able to use this focus to get more in touch with, well, obviously not this plane, we're in the Feywilds, but the back in the real world, Kyrinda.
Yep.
Like, I wonder if Null would be able to use it to gain more of a foothold in that plane.
Yes, I'm sure that is the case.
That'd be really cool.
Jin is annoyed that Thraika said that before he had the opportunity to say it.
Sorry.
Of course.
because like that's kind of what he was thinking, but like he didn't want to say it, and then the others think that it was a stupid idea, and so he didn't say anything, and so now it seems like the Rikers came up with the idea. He has childish priorities.
Has Thoricus been able to see that John's upset? Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that these are
So
the DJs that you're rolling.
I'm working on my relationship with my buddy, okay?
Yeah.
Important. And so she'll just sort of kind of defer to him and be like, but I mean, obviously, I don't know, is that something that Noel would do or be interested in, Jun? Because like I don't know Noel, and I'm just guessing.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, it's a pretty ancient skull. I kind of use a similar crystal to talk to him sometimes, so like I think it would be really good for that. Yeah.
Cool. I hope it makes him happy for you.
Yeah. It'll be cool.
Could maybe, I don't know how this sort of stuff works. You could maybe ask him to help, like, affix the skull to your weapon, your scythe. That'll look pretty badass.
Jin's thinking all of this through and like them, and I'm thinking about the mechanics of the pact scythe and how that works. Because like you can, so at the moment the pact scythe is just like a spiritual weapon that Jin can summon in any form.
Yeah, and it also is your focus while it's summoned. So,
Yes.
But yes, there is no reason why you could not have it like come out of the skull. Like you like pull the skull off your belt, and it's like, and then the scythe like forms out of it.
1 second. I've got a picture of exactly what you were describing because I was trying to look at
so cool.
images to see what
yeah.
it might look like.
But yeah, I would say that it would probably take
Come
you.
on, why did it not preview?
I would say that it would take you a long rest to change the nature of your scythe. It's not necessarily, a full pack change or anything, but yes, that is exactly what I'm imagining it would do.
It would look so cool.
Oh, the opposite way where it comes out the back of the skull looks really dumb. Don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, you may choose to do that at any point, but yeah, it is otherwise seemingly not. Yeah, seemingly has no other ill effects to it from an identify spell. But of course, there is the shining white elephant in the room, which is the giant bone sword. Well, not giant, but the long sword that is on the Thoricus's back that is made entirely of bone.
I think in order to change the subject, Jin's gonna be like, well, like, so the way that the sword works, that the scythe works, it's like, I summon it into being, but I can also, like, use a weapon that exists and unsummon it and resummon it again if I wanted to. So like Thoricus's bone thing, for example.
Yeah, the
I
bone
want to know
thing.
more about that.
Would you like me to identify it for you?
Go on. I did it with the skull.
You can hold on to it the whole time if you like, but
No, I'm not attached to this. What are you talking about? You could just go on. Here you go.
okay. Cool, thank you. I much appreciate it. I don't trust random weapons that we're just pulling out of thin air.
I mean, I wasn't just gonna use it straight away.
Yeah, we've already got a long sword of vengeance with a sketchy past in our bag of holding. Let's not have more.
You have a lot of sketchy
Sketchy
items in your
things.
bag of holding.
Uh-huh.
There's
Oh,
no way that this thing isn't sketchy.
Oh yeah.
I'm
You
pretty sure that was said
immediately,
before.
yeah. Well, yeah. Thragus knew immediately that there's something sketchy about it. But you also immediately identify from it that the bone that it is crafted out of is a demon's bone, pulled from its
Yeah, would be.
living flesh, to the point where you can feel coming off of it that there is a demon somewhere in hell that is still missing this bone and it is not happy about it.
Oh
Um,
no! Oh no! Devil has cursed me from my grave.
Well, it doesn't seem to be like it doesn't seem to be aching to have it. It's not like clawing its way here or anything like that. But it is something like that. It's just that is the nature of this thing.
Tangentially linked rather than like actually I know where this is on the
Yeah,
prime material plane. and I'm gonna
exactly.
kill people.
There is not a magical link to these things. There's just a demon somewhere that is absolutely like missing this bone. And if they ever found out that this weapon was their bone, they probably would come looking for it. But as far as you know, they don't know anything about it. It's not like cursed to tell them about it now that it's in someone's hands or anything like that. It is just
It's not going to use our bodies to whisper to the demons to bring them here.
no. And it seems like it was crafted by Asmodeus. So it was probably taken from this demon as like a punishment or any number of things anyway. So he's probably not looking for it because he's not gonna try and go against Asmodeus's will for anything. So that's probably cool. But you also get the sense that there is some sort of sentience within it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no!
That doesn't seem to have any particular alignment. It's not like blazingly evil or blazingly good or anything in there. But there's something in there that if you were tuned to it, you would hear.
Yeah, because Anarchist did always want the Rackers to have children.
Yeah. If someone were to tune with it, they would obviously hear that voice. They would gain the ability to read, write, and speak abyssal, infernal, pretty much every hellish language that exists.
Oh shit!
Currently, in its current state, while you're
I
attuned to
already
it.
know Infernal and Abyssal.
Yeah, but you get the other ones. Hold on, what's the other ones?
The ones that are
I
even
think-
rarer and less useful.
I think deep speech.
Yeah, deep speech, and I think just deep speech actually is the only extra one you would get.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
abyssal is demons and
Yeah.
infernal is devils.
Yeah.
So deep speech is the only other one
I
you'd
grew
get.
up in cult, man. And also
Um,
made demons my favorite enemy.
oh yeah. Yep, it's currently in its current state. It is a +1 weapon, +1 longsword. But if you throw it, like or any sort of ranged attack, it would come back to you, same as if it was.
Just like the trident.
Uh,
The bident.
the Biden, kind of. In a sense, it will. Even if you were forced to drop it, like a heat metal or anything like that, it would always come back to your hand at will, if you were attuned to it.
It's not metal. So good luck casting heat metal on that.
Yep. It's true. You can't heat metal on a bone thing, but
I
yes.
cast heat bone.
Bone laughs at that person because there is a demon.
Yep. It'll also deal an additional D8 piercing damage to anything that you hit. with it, both melee and thrown. And if, as a reaction, if you are hit, you can make a melee attack with it immediately with advantage. And
Awesome.
Varys, you get the sense that there is a lot more to this weapon that you are not able to discern, simply because it has not reached its power. So it is capable of gaining more power from doing specific acts, and doing.
Murdering people.
You're not sure exactly what acts is required, but it has
probably.
2 stages of. So currently it is in a dormant state, and if you proceed to do these acts, it will become both first awakened and then exalted, gaining a lot more.
Seems like a bad idea.
A lot more power.
From that, just as a precautionary measure, I guess, sort of reaching in to try and feel like if we were to commit the acts that this thing needs to get more power, does Varys think that would further empower the sentient part or just the weapon part of it? Like,
You cannot tell.
the entity tied to this going to become stronger?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be both.
You can't tell. I mean, it's a good guess.
Yeah.
But from strict reading of the identification of it, you're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Once the spell's been cast, Varys will pass all of that information on. So there's definitely something in there. But like, I don't know if it's good or bad. It's technically neither, from what I could tell. Can get stronger, but I also don't know what that means for it, you know? But if you're like attuned to it, you're definitely going to be talking to something. It is a sentient weapon.
Something or someone.
Good question. Was it something or someone?
You're not sure. There's some.
Or is it just
a sentient presence.
This is not Thoracus being logical. Just staring into your eyeballs right now. Like,
there is. It just has a sentience. I'm sorry. The magic is not potent enough to tell me whether or not it's, from a creature or it's the conjured sentience of the weapon itself. I'm not sure.
Is this conversation happening loudly enough for Jun to hear? Like, are we still kind of...
I'd imagine
all...
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Varys has been doing the identify spell out in the open.
Yeah.
It's not like he took it away or anything.
I don't imagine he's whispering this to Thoracus.
No. I think everybody needs to know about the fact that this thing has a presence to it, for sure.
so, can I attune to it, or would I have to? Because I know I'm already attuned to my Twilight Longbow.
Nope, you have the ability to attune to 3 things. You're only attuned to 2.
Yeah, because it's the Twilight Longbow and the Everything Quiver thing, right?
No, it's the breastplate. You haven't attuned to the
Ancient Breastplate.
Yeah, you don't need to attune to the arrow thing. I think.
Oh, sweet.
You can kind of see that Jun's face is kind of strained as he's like contemplating whether or not to say something.
You okay there, buddy? What's up?
I feel like maybe we're ignoring one of the worst possibilities of the sentient sword.
That being...
What if it's Thoracus's mum?
I mean, it was crafted by Asmodeus from a demon or a devil, I assume.
It is kind of why Thoracus bored her eyeballs into your skull when you said it.
Yeah, there's nothing to say that the sentience wasn't added to the sword post creation.
And considering the way I summoned it.
How did you summon it?
No ways. It just totally appeared. It
Okay.
just Beggar Holden just spit it out at me, totally.
Weird, because I asked the Bag of Holding for a weapon and it didn't give me shit.
I don't know, maybe it has favorites.
Well, she already said it
Maybe.
was her mother's approval, so...
Oh. Oh. Oh, Thoricus.
Are you ready for that possibility?
Well, I'm currently thinking of digging my own grave here, but you know.
Do you
I mean,
want to attune to it?
you can unattune to things, right?
Yes, I mean, you can.
It's
I
just
mean,
how
I
much
haven't-
psychic damage it does to you in the meantime.
I also don't know, I don't know too much about sentient weapons specifically, but you remember that there was a curse on a set of armor that we got when we first got here, and I wasn't able to take it off because of that curse. I don't know whether that can happen with other things. I don't think it's cursed, but you know, maybe it gets a hold on you. I'm not sure.
And we all
If it's her mother, I think it might be cursed.
I don't
Yes.
think I don't think it was her mother. I didn't get any links there when I was doing my identify spell, did I?
You got nothing. Just know.
No.
Whatever state that it's in, it's completely dormant at the moment. So you'd have to attune to it to get anything else.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, if we want any more information about it, then attunement would be our way of investigating, I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
if we want to
I
take
feel
that
like
risk right now.
only Thoricus will be able to attune to it. Just maybe.
From the identify spell, you know that anyone could.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it wouldn't just be me.
It doesn't appear to have any requirements for it. It's just that you are able to attune to it.
But remember what happened last time? That someone in our party attuned to a devilish weapon?
Yeah, I'm not super jazzed about it, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I think it warrants, like, my scientific curiosity is piqued, for sure, but we're
I mean,
kind of doing stuff right now, and it'll be a bad time to get possessed by a weapon.
Okay.
having said that, there, could be an advantage. We were about
for
to encounter some dangerous shit.
For sure, and like I said, the entity, as far as I could tell, seems to be neutral. Like, it doesn't... It's of infernal creation, but I don't know that the entity within it is actually evil. I didn't get evil or good from it.
So it's like me.
Seems to be. That being said, the identify is, in comparison to what you would get from, actually talking to the weapon, kind of surface level.
Go on, what's the worst that could happen?
I don't...
We have seen some pretty bad things.
Yeah. Valen's just like slowly backing up away.
Yeah, you know that Jun is just taking the piss. Like, he is aware of how serious it is and is just trying to distract Thoricus slightly from her more disturbing thoughts.
Oh, fucking heck.
I mean, it could turn your skin red, it could give you horns. Oh. Thoricus like, well, if you don't have those already. Yeah.
Could even give me hooves.
Oh my goodness.
Holy moly.
Jun does that thing where he transforms himself into Thoricus.
It's catching.
I mean, at this rate, you might as well. Like, we're all just gonna get it.
Oh my freaking god. Okay. Well, maybe it's best if
Ailey
we.
holds her cutlery out threateningly towards the sword, but like, protectively. I don't know. She's backed up and away from it all.
Yeah, I think Ailey's traumatized. So
Yeah.
perhaps we should leave attuning to this until some of our more well researched friends have had a look at this.
Yeah.
Whether that's our magic school friends from underground or anyone
Or, yeah.
who has more knowledge of these things.
I mean, even doing it back on the prime material plane would make me feel a little bit safer, you know?
Yeah,
We're-
who knows
we're
what will
already-
happen here.
Exactly, we're already
we're-
facing a whole lot of uncertainties.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to do. I mean, if you decide you want to attune to it, then and it goes bad, then I'll do what I can. But
In here.
yeah,
Appreciate that. No, I think we better leave it until we're out of here. Speaking of which, have we?
Cool. I will also say that
Have we just?
the type of demon that it is from is called a Baylor, which is one of the.
Varus would have.
Varus would get that name, and then Thrikus would fill in the blanks, knowing that they are sort of generals for demon lord armies. Sometimes even like minor princelings themselves within the hells. So very powerful demons that this one has come from.
With
They're-
burning rage?
They're based on
Burning
they're
rage?
based on J.R.R. Tolkien's Balrog. So
Yep. Is that a fire whip? Are you kidding me?
yeah.
And was there a sword as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 12
lightning
feet
sword?
tall. 12 feet
Goddamn.
tall. And weighed 2 tons.
Yeah. And that's why I got really big long femurs that can be turned into swords.
can you imagine what one of these fuckers must have done to piss off Asmodeus enough for him to do that?
I feel like it's also like sending a message at the same time too. If you do that to one of them, then the rest of them are gonna fall in line.
Yeah, like if you eat all the billionaires, you don't need to eat all the billionaires.
Then
Just
just
one.
one.
And they would know.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be them.
That's a good point. Anyway.
Like I could.
So
Baylor.
so we've decided not gonna do that now. We're gonna continue on, yeah?
Yeah, not right now.
Okay.
Not at this moment.
Cool.
Jun is, however, going to happily continue to familiarize himself with his new fun skull.
Perfect.
Nice.
Oh, answers
Yeah.
about the people that the skull belonged to. Interesting.
Oh, we should. Maybe that might spark something for Joe if we get him to have a look at it.
Skelly, if Jun does the thing like integrating it with his packed scythe, does that change the skull in any way that would make it more difficult to identify?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
It looks like it's been changed when you've got the scythe out, but whenever your scythe is returned, it's like it's not changed at all. It's like almost like it's an illusion when it's happening.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because it is a prime magical focus. It seems like the very bones of these people were infused very highly with magic. So,
Onward.
onwards and upwards. You guys continue your travel for a bit longer. Can I get perception checks, please?
eyes
I don't
are
trust
peeled.
how Ailey's. You never answered about the size of the cutlery. I asked.
It's just a regular size cutlery. You do not get to have your giant spork thing.
Can it at least be like, you know, 1/2 meter long or something?
No,
It
it's
was picked up out of a silver drawer.
It's just leftover
When
bits
did-
of some shiny cutlery you found.
When did we Jack and the Beanstalk this?
Yeah. If you want, you're welcome to try and find someone to craft you a spork weapon if you want, but you should not find one in the bag of holding, I'm
it was a
afraid.
running joke back in the day about grabbing like the big wooden spoon as protection in the family. So when I saw that, 'cause yeah, that one's like 1/2 meter long
Yep. Perfect.
with very inappropriate text written on it.
Of course, of course. Anyway, alright, good perception rolls from everybody. That's pretty good.
Oh, not everybody.
Oops. So as you guys move through the now known as the ever thicket wood that you now know you're in, you keep moving in that direction. There isn't really a path now anymore at all. You just know that this is north and you just keep moving, basically. Heading towards your goal, the mountains, which you still can make out through the trees ever so slightly whenever you're passing underneath some clearing. Yeah, definitely not nearly as thick as the jungle you guys had previously been in. But yes, you eventually notice something different. You're still passing through a lot of regular looking trees, all in various states. You know, because of the nature of the Feywild, the trees are not really sure whether or not they should be autumn or summer or spring or anything like that. So they're constantly, you see every different tree is in a different point in its life, except of course the ever present elfwood trees, which are becoming less and less frequent as you guys have been moving on, but they're still occasionally there as you keep going. You
Who
see,
awkwardly avoids them.
of course. You see something.
I feel like we're all keeping a wide berth.
Oh yeah, you see something very different. In the very edges of your periphery, you see what looks like it would be an elfwood tree, except it is entirely dead. It does not have any leaves on it. It is just barren wood, and it is completely lost its glow. It is still kind of pearlescent, so it kind of looks kind of petrified, but it is just seemingly dead there, which is entirely not the state you've seen any of the other elfwood trees in. And even them, they don't seem to be affected by the same misstated nature. They're always in that same golden leaves falling state that they're in. This one just looks like it's dead up ahead.
Varys is going to keep an eye on his short sword of warning, just in case.
Okay. You guys keep moving up. I will say that Varys is probably the first one to notice that there appears to be some sort of creature, some being of some sort, sitting or standing, not sure from this location, at the base of this tree.
Varys is going to point that out to everyone. There's someone or something there.
Do they look dangerous?
It's at the
That's
very,
vibes I'm getting.
very edge of your perception right now, so you cannot tell. It's barely tell that there's a person.
Do we want to sneak? Do we want to maybe send one person ahead? What do you all want to do?
I'd like to get more of a sense of who this person might be before we reveal ourselves.
Hmm.
Heracus?
Yeah.
Seems weird, right?
Yeah, seems weird. Oh, do we want how about make us extra sneaky?
Extra sneaky.
Extra sneaky time.
Sneak a bit closer and get build up.
Cool. Alright, stealth checks then. Good thing you got a +10.
No. Hey, I'm saving my nat 20s for socializing.
Mm.
The important thing.
So somebody else.
Oh.
I'm not even
Can't
saying them,
reroll
I just don't know where they
twos.
are.
Codswallop disappears in a mist.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's good at that. Even with
Ailey?
his armor on.
What am I
Ailey.
rolling?
Stealth. You're sneaking.
We're being sneaky. Fuck, your dice are cool.
Like
Yeah,
dragon
but the
scales.
dragony ones.
Yeah.
So I swear I made them all copper, but I guess it's kind of like eroded copper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how I rolled a 7.
Yeah,
like
and it turned
Varys,
into
but,
28.
yeah.
I rolled a 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Got to a 7. With that +10, it's a 17, but still.
Anyway, you guys stick to the shadows and continue moving up until you can all get a good look at this person that is there. The first thing that you notice about them is that they are dressed in purple. A lot of purple. It's very much their whole theme. It's a very nice fabric from what you can see, but it makes it difficult to make out their features or anything other than that they are wearing very nice purple clothes and have a nice purple witch's hat.
Sounds like they're scary.
Well, you also notice at this point that they are about halfling sized.
I'm just like,
And
Ailey would be like, that's a cool hat.
yeah, and are not standing, but are sitting on a rock and seemingly just swinging their legs back and forth while sitting on this rock. Almost carefree like.
Anything that could be carefree in the Feywild is way too powerful for us.
But also, like, are they dangerous? Like,
Not that you can see.
Do we want to get closer?
I'm real tempted to go say hi.
I mean,
They probably already know we're here.
probably.
Well, they probably already know Varys is here.
Excuse me?
17's not bad.
I didn't scare away a bunch of unicorns, at least.
Shut up.
I'm sorry you questioned my stealth.
I mean,
Just,
that was
you
kind
know,
of fair.
those leaves that you stood on back there.
I mean, I've got tiny feet and they're such big leaves.
You know, tiny feet should make it easier to not stand on the leaves.
Yeah, but it's all leaf. There's no place for me to put foot on ground that's not leaf.
How big are your feet compared to my hooves? Come here.
Okay.
Hey, what- How big are his feet compared to my hooves?
They're about the same, honestly.
So I just look at him like, really?
I'm sorry, okay? I don't stealth that much. I usually am loud.
Small and loud. Makes sense.
Yep.
So this person that we've observed, they're
Mhm.
under that tree that's dead.
Yes. Well, yes, they're not directly under it, they're nearby it.
Yeah. Are there any other trees around them, or is it like a clearing?
No, there are other trees around them. That seem normal enough for the Feywild anyway. No other elfwood trees, of course. But there are other trees that are in states of autumn or winter or, you know, that sort of Feywild weirdness that's going around. But no other elfwood trees, just that one that seems dead.
And like the way you describe their clothing, sounds like they're super out of place in the middle of the forest.
Yes. It's
Like, is it weirdly clean?
yes. It's definitely weirdly clean. It is. But of course, this is the Feywild, so that's not necessarily out of character for anybody that you could run into. They could easily be magical enough to clean themselves up.
Okay.
Is there? So they're alone out in the open. Is there anybody else that is around?
Not that you can
Could
see.
this be an ambush?
Does it look like a good spot for an ambush?
Not particularly.
Okay.
It is. I mean, nowhere.
Can I
There's
roll insight
better-
on this character?
Sure. There are better places
Yeah.
that you could have ambushed somebody. Is what I'm getting at. It's not particularly bad. Not particularly good.
Doesn't seem like a prime setup though.
Yeah. You're not getting really any gist of them other than the fact that they're like sitting on a rock, swinging their legs back and forth.
Disconcerting.
It's disconcerting, but they are definitely shorter than person. Definitely around halfling size.
Normal. What definition of normal?
As in, most races.
Medium creature.
Yeah,
Common
most medium creatures, which is everyone that you've ever run to, you elves, humans, orcs. They're all roughly between was it 5 and 7 feet. Whereas it's only really like gnomes and halflings and dwarves that are
Yeah.
that
We
are the
have
short.
met.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is that they're not.
You're like everyone you've met. I'm like, we have met. Short
I think
people.
it was
So
everyone
out of-
you've met
yeah.
of
Out
elves,
of
humans, or-
out of all of the people, if we get a data set of everyone you've ever met, majority of them are
Statistically more common. Okay.
it is statistically more common size. Yes,
So the average size.
but they are not the average size. They are closer to Varys in height.
How close are we to them by this point?
You guys have kept moving. Probably about 100 feet from them.
Do we want to go closer?
Jin's gonna indicate to Varys that he should go closer.
Cool. We'll do so.
Okay. And as you get about 80 feet away from them, you realize that they are not a halfling. They are a child.
Boo! I would never have approached a child if I'd known.
Seems weird. We should leave.
Like, yuck. Where are their parents? I don't want to meet their parents.
I mean, child lost in the Fey Woods does sound very like an ambush, but also,
Yes.
like, if this child is just kind of here, I want to help them.
Oh, that's how they get you.
I know, that's why I'm conflicted.
Okay, show of hands on who wants to find and gag Varys in order to leave here.
Varys puts his hand on the ground. Not in favor of that.
I'm in favor of leaving the kid to it, because I was fine. Come on, let's go.
Yep. And I ain't about strange kids in the forest.
But what if they're in
Besides,
danger?
like they seem fine. You know, they've
Did
killed
we
a
actually
tree.
talk to them? I'm confused.
You haven't talked to them. All you can do, all at the moment, is that you are 80 feet away
Okay.
from them and can see that they are seemingly a child dressed all in purple, swinging their legs back and forth from a
Is
dead elfwood tree.
perception the one Ailey would need to roll, or
What are you
was
trying
insight?
to? What are you trying to
We
figure
know
out?
what Ailey's like with rescuing children,
True.
so
Just as you know what Jun and Thrax are like on avoiding children.
yeah.
I mean, this is absolutely the sort
Last time we
of.
tried to rescue children,
This
there's
is
so much
what
killed them.
Ailey would go and do, so that's why I'm like, what would I roll to help decide flipping the coin?
Roll
to change
an
to
insight. Roll an insight check.
Insight. Ailey's been there, done that, so she's
Well-
got some ideas about what's going on.
It's more like your insight on this creature, this person that you see, that is most definitely a child. They don't particularly seem in danger or anything, but hell yeah, you love children.
Fuck.
And if this
Alright,
is
Ailey will have walked up to them.
I'm staying
Varys
stealth.
is close behind.
Oh, God.
Jun is going to turn into a tabaxi and climb up a nearby tree that has a good vantage point over anything that might happen.
okay.
Varys is not moving up first, he's backing Ailey. He's got his shield out and he's looking around,
Kaya doing?
covering the flank.
Yeah.
She's at your side as usual.
Mm-hmm.
And Micaiah is
Actually,
probably
that's a good question. Yeah, what is Micaiah doing?
Micaiah is probably very cautiously following directly with Ailey. They are also on board with the whole protect child, but they're also like, this is the Feywild, I should be very careful, and it's
Yeah.
got like they are where Ailey is like open armed, ready to fucking hug this child. Micaiah is like two legs out, ready to tackle this child.
Ready to punch a child.
Ailey is here to be a helping hand, the folk hero that she is.
You approach them. They don't seem to have noticed you, even though you've come out of Pass Without a Trace now. You're not particularly trying to hide. They're still just swinging their legs back and forth, but you're definitely within earshot of them now, if you or anything. What if you, however you want to interact?
Hello there.
Oh, hi. And you see them jump down from this rock that they're on and land, and they're, definitely child-sized, almost exact same height as Varys. Their
But,
hats,
like, looks like a child or not?
no, they look like a child for sure.
Okay.
They like they're witch's hat is a little too big for them, but they're still wearing it. Like it points up and then like is folded down, purple hat, with a brim that it's just a little bit too big for them. It's not terribly large, but it would fit normally on a human's head. But for them, they just seem to have grown into it. But they like flip that up and shoot you a cheeky grin. And you notice at that very moment that on their hat, where the sort of brim meets the hat part, that there is a stitching in it. That is stitching of lips and a mouth, and it has directly mimicked her mouth. So when she grins, the mouth on the hat grins as well, and it seems to mimic her very, very mouth movements. Oh, I didn't realize there was anybody here.
What? That's a really cool hat.
Oh, thank you. And as she starts to walk towards you, Micaiah says, "That's a hag," and transforms herself into a panther, and is ready to fight.
Of course.
She said hag.
Yep, she said, "That's a hag."
Jun is going to...
Where's her thing? Where's her thing? Where's your goddamn thing? Panther.
Can Jun do the thing where he makes his packed scythe a bow instead of a scythe?
No. I'm afraid not. Especially as you're trying currently to manipulate it into being the skull thing. You do have a bow that you could use instead if you wanted. Just, not the extra stuff. You do also have Eldritch Blast.
Well, yeah.
But, of course, although Micaiah does this, she doesn't immediately attack the child. You're still a couple of feet from her. But she readies herself in this panther form, and sort of is like ready for you guys to initiate combat with the small child. But in reaction to Micaiah turning into a panther and dashing her teeth at her, the child jumps back, like puts her hands out. It's like, no.
She a baby hag?
Maybe.
A bag?
A bag hag?
A bag hag.
I mean, you've never seen a baby hag before. Child hag. You've always only ever seen or heard of hags being fully an adult. But of course, it's not like anyone's particularly studied how hags reproduce, other than the known thing, which is they consume a child and turn them into a hag. But at what state they become a hag or have that stuff go on, you're not sure. But from all outward looks, this is just a regular human child.
You're just creating more research projects for the My God.
But also it's interesting that they are wearing a witch's hat and being witchy. That's usually a thing that hags, it is a interpretation that hags have been known to shy away from, as they don't like that idea. It's more of a sorcerer wizard thing these days.
Jun wants to identify the hat, but obviously that's not a thing he can do from where he is.
No.
So he's gonna stay and not yell.
Okay.
He's still hidden, right?
Yes, you guys are still relatively far away from everybody else, and you are hidden up in a tree. And yeah, Thoracus is still shouting, doing the path without a trace on you guys. So you still have that.
Varys has drawn his pistol, but he hasn't aimed it at the potential hag just yet.
Okay.
What's going on with you? What's the story here?
What do you mean?
You a hag?
I mean,
That's not reassuring.
okay,
you know, right?
okay. Fae, I'm not used to the Fae stuff. I can't. I haven't figured out how to word things correctly yet. No, yes,
Oh, welcome
I
to the
am.
club.
Yes, I am technically a hag.
Oh, sorry, technically? How does that work?
Well, I was transformed into a hag. I don't know what else you want from me. And you see, like, tears have started to well up in her eyes, and like the face, the semi face, even though it doesn't have eyes or a nose, just the mouth, it's also seeming to be like welling up on the on the head.
Hmm. Is this? Can I try and see if this is like an illusion that we just haven't seen, or if
Sure.
this person being transformed into a kid?
Roll whatever you feel like. Perception, insight, arcana.
Perception seems like trying to deduce what if this is an illusion or not. I guess. Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be. Ailey, what are you doing? Ailey?
She's gonna still talk to the kid.
Okay.
So were you like spat out recently? Is that why you mean you're kind of one?
Yeah, like that.
That's not reassuring when you say it like that, you know.
Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to do these things.
Well, I mean, you don't have to do what the others do.
I mean, yeah, there's rules.
Rules?
Yeah. I just
Rules are just threats. It's fine.
not these rules. And I guess just sort of in a way that a child does when they don't really know how to deal with the situation. She starts crying, and sensing the only the only person who isn't like outwardly threatening in any sort of way, immediately runs towards Ailey, clutches onto their leg, and starts crying into their pants.
Can Ailey will pat their head / hat awkwardly, but can she do some kind of check for how honest they're being?
Roll an insight check.
Is it insight?
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, Ailey's good at deceiving, but don't know how good she is at picking up other deception.
No, this seems like a genuine child having a problem. General child in distress.
Is there a way to reverse hagism?
Not that you're aware of, but you do know of some experts beside and behind you.
Yeah, that's why she asked it out loud. That's why it was with the voice.
The voice.
How much of this can Jun and Thoracus hear?
from this distance. I would say you can make out that the
Especially as a tabaxi.
yeah. No, I'd say you probably make out most of this. You guys are trying to pay as much attention as possible, so
Oh yeah.
you understand the gist of what's going on. And you also see that Micaiah in the panda form is trying to like shrug, but like not knowing how to do it. Like, puts one paw up, like, huh?
Jin is gonna come out of the tree, like sigh, look at Thrakus like it's, and kind of shrug successfully, in Thrakus's direction.
Do we need to make like a history check or?
Yeah. Roll a history check.
Well,
Well, and this way should be an advantage for you, Thrakus, as well. See if you get a grit.
it is a social thing.
Amazing.
No, it's just real definitive there.
Yep. Surprisingly, there's actually been a fair bit of documentation about reversing a hag to the previous state. There's obviously a lot of distraught parents would like to know if they could get their children back.
Yep.
As it turns out, no, there is absolutely no fucking goddamn way that you can return a hag to its previous nature. In fact, there is no known way of divining whether the previous state of a hag, no wish spell, no god-like intervention has been able to ascertain whether or not what form a person, to know what a hag was in its past life. Essentially, it seems that hags, by their very design, by their very nature, when they come into this world, when they've changed a child, they change it at a cosmic level, to a point of no return, like reweaving the strands of fate around that child to make it so that they were once and always a hag.
It's like a perverse sort of restart switch.
But has anyone been able to find a child in this halfway state?
No, never heard of this before. Yeah. That it is known that when it is known that once a hag has got a child, and is well on its way of transforming it into a hag, the hag usually disappears. But it's trying to keep its pregnancy to term, I guess. So it gets away from any of the villagers that might want to get that child back, and then whenever it's seen again, it's usually without the child, and they don't know where the child's gone again. It's impossible to divine by any means divine where that child's gone, but it is
Presumably to the Feywild.
Yeah, it is presumably that the hag returns to the Feywild with the child, raises it to hagness, or comes out fully formed as a hag later. It's completely unknown. If this is truly a baby hag, then you'll be the first person to ever meet one.
Crap, we're adopting a hag.
Yeah, that reads for this party, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sounds right. But like, and I think before actually walking into the scenario with the baby hag and joining everyone else, I think Kitty Cat Jin is gonna side up to Thrakus and just be like, "We have been fighting hags. Can we use this to our advantage? This child doesn't seem particularly attached to hags." Just
Yeah, like I don't feel like we can just abandon an upset child who is not trying to kill us. I don't think someone's nature immediately is predetermined, necessarily.
Unless they eat people.
Hey, I still don't believe that.
I mean, I'm neither here nor there on the child abandonment, but the hag defeating that. This child could be useful in some fashion, so
We could teach
I'm going
them
to
be
mull
a
that
good
over.
hag. There's good witches and bad witches. There could be a good hag, right?
Yeah, but Jun, that's kind of a weird, gross sentiment there. Youth and children.
Jun's gonna look at Thoricus like, what do you mean?
Thrax is just looking in horror at Jun like, you don't do that to children.
I mean, I wouldn't harm the child. That seems unnecessary.
But you would just predetermine its whole life from here on out and use it to your advantage?
I mean, not its whole life, but, surely we can gain some information from it about hags, or, bargain with some hags with it, or I don't know.
I'm about to give this child the best damn life it can ever think of. Fucking storms away towards the child like, hey kid, let's have some fun.
You are going to have fun.
You're going to have a childhood.
Jun does not have a concept of childhood and protected childhood, so he's just like, I don't understand why we need to help the child. Nobody ever helped me.
Jun's broken.
Yeah, Jun is broken.
Jun is broken.
Jun is broken.
So yeah,
Oh, no.
he's not trying to be unkind. He just doesn't get it.
Yeah, he just genuinely doesn't understand.
No sense.
It's like, but people use each other. That's how the world works.
Thrax is sensitive to that.
Okay.
He's
Well.
genuinely confused, but he's gonna go along with it.
Okay.
She grew up in a
This
cult.
is Ailey and
Ish.
Ailey will be like, I'm gonna raise them like my father raised us.
No.
Not like my mother.
Don't make your papa proud.
Okay. Well, so. Wait. What is happening?
It's a good question.
It's not letting me. Okay. Can I do it like that? Yeah, that.
Letting you do stuff because it's 10 o'clock.
True, it is 10 o'clock. Cool. Well, I will say, Micaiah turns back to their normal self.
Probably very disappointed in us.
Well, as you can see immediately on their face.
Right?
Yeah, you can see immediately on their face that they are extremely conflicted. That, again, this is a hag and they know what you're supposed to do with hags, but they are also torn by the fact that this is a child and seemingly bears no ill will, and yeah, even though from birth they're told kill hags on sight, this is a new one for them. Well, I guess that's where we're gonna leave it. Although I will say that once their sobbing finishes, now that everyone's sort of getting together and not threatening them in any way, especially Micaiah, she'll probably wipe away her tears and look up at you all and go, can you protect me from the bad men then? And that's where we're going to finish up.
Admin? We're
It's a
probably the
trap.
bad men.
Every man in the Feywild.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's it. Thanks everybody. We got some crazy shit happening today. Classic. We'll be back next week to see who the bad men are. Maybe we might see someone, attuned to this bone sword. Who knows? Stick around and find out. Goodbye.